What kind of shit is that?
This is how I feel when I see you guys crying online about the election.
What kind of shit is that?
It could be about you. Do you believe what they say? Is it true? Or is it just a conspiracy?
One of our creators made that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, dude. Well, this is when we're recording this the day after the election day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's brand new to us. You guys won't see this until Monday.
So a lot of crazy shit can
A
happen.
lot of crazy shit could happen between now. So I'm not going to say too much about it because we might miss some stuff. But I'm very curious to see. We already know how the Republicans are reacting. They're happy. They're excited. And I'm not going to be surprised by any of their behavior. But I'm really curious to see how these Democrat liberals are going to act online. And I've already seen a little bit of the crybaby shit, looking at the camera and sobbing and having meltdowns because of the election. Like, fucking relax. It's 4 years on a planet that's been around for 1 billion. We're going to get over this. And I bet the airports are going to be crowded for all of the celebrities moving out of the country today. We had a lot of those guys promising that.
Yeah, moving where?
Yeah,
exactly. Where is better than here?
Yeah, I want to see how that pans out. My thing is, though, whoever your president is, if it makes you want to leave, part of me is like, oh, this place is so overcrowded.
Mm-hmm.
Make some room for us. David.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a podcast?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Unidentical.
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 Hey, welcome back to Flannel Bros. This is the Flannel Bros podcast with me, Jason Collings, and my flannel bro, David Collings.
Welcome to the cabin.
Flannel Bros. Flannel Bros. So here's what happened with the outfits. If you're not watching and you're listening, David and I are dressed pretty much alike, which we rarely do.
Mm-hmm.
My brother showed up to my house to pick me up in a pretty dope outfit. And then I immediately had outfit envy. He had a really nice flannel on with greens in it and matching Air Max 90s. Do your fit check real quick. Fit check.
Oh, he's taking the
Take it
shoe off. Oh, boy. There it is.
Hold on. There we go. So we both are wearing flannels with matching Air Max 90s on because I literally had outfit envy. And I
Sure did.
I pride myself on being the better dresser of the two of us.
Well,
And
good thing you guys aren't wearing the same underwear because we don't want to see that.
well, actually, we're both wearing the same underwear.
How can two people occupy the same pair of underwear?
Bro, you must not spend much time in Hollywood. No, we are. What do you have Pumas on? What do you got on there?
I don't know. I can't remember. I just threw them on.
I got Pumas on.
All right.
Pumas. Oh, I got Nike socks on.
I just have.
What a pathetic loser. I won the outfit contest.
Yeah. Do you like my haircut?
Yeah, it looked a little light on the side, right?
Do you like that?
What do you mean light as in light, not a lot of hair
Turn
or
the other
color?
way. The other side. Yeah, it seems like they got you pretty
Yeah.
low there on that side.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, a little
I
lower
like
than on the right.
Yeah. Well, this side, I like it. I feel like a little Chet. Like, you know.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Good
Like
news
Chet.
is it always grows back.
Chet. Oh, yeah.
The name is Chet.
And I didn't think it was a whale's dick, honey. Weird science. Weird freaking
A little
science.
Chetty.
So, man, we are in a new world.
Mm-hmm.
So much has changed. You can feel it in the air. It's just crazy how much the world's falling apart now. That's sarcasm. We're going to be fine, guys. Everything's going to be great.
Yep.
Not great. It never is, by the way. Also, remember this, I have a lot of younger friends because of stand-up, and they are just doomsdaying it right now. And I'm like, you guys, this is not the worst that things have been. No, you don't understand, man. This guy's, I'm like, yo,
Our Gestapo in the streets tomorrow.
right. Our parents were doing nuclear fucking bomb drills and their desks at school every day.
Yeah.
You know, like there was a time when our parents were kids where they literally thought the bomb was going to drop. And now we're all upset because Donald Trump's going to say some shit that's going to hurt our feelings. Like, get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, he's not the guy you wanted in. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm not too thrilled about the guy. He's a volatile big baby, but
I'm not a fan, but he won.
But he won.
Now we got to.
And I don't want to hear any of this, not my president. That's not my president. But it is, though.
Yeah,
it's 100%.
That's sort of dumb.
He's your president unless you join the masses of Hollywood actors that are moving out of the country because of that, which so dumb to do that. First of all, what's the process? How long is it? You got to find a place.
And who are you to think that other countries want you?
Yeah, exactly. They got to accept you too.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
There you friggin' go. There you go. But other than that, it's fine. Guess what it is for me? It's a Wednesday.
Yep.
It's a Wednesday, and you know why Wednesday is my favorite day? Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Podcast. So make sure you continue to rate and review at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it is that you download your audio. Make sure you check us out on YouTube to look at our gorgeous faces at the Unidentical Pod. Make sure you like, subscribe, smash, dash that notification bell so you know when some new stuff's coming at you. Also, one-stop shop, everything Unidentical Pod. Go to unidenticalpod.com for all your Unidentical Pod needs. You got merch, you got tour schedules, you got all the links to all the audios, you got the video link, and you got links to the special that is called It's Not Me, It's You. Not me, it's you.
We got to fix that link though.
We got it. Is it not working?
Yeah.
Is it the one that goes to Amazon?
Well, it just says this video is not available anymore, but I did find the video itself, so
It might be the Amazon link, so go watch it on YouTube.
Oh no, it is the YouTube one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we got to fix that.
But it's still there, so
Oh,
as
there
you
it
can
is.
see.
Oh, cool. There I am doing stand-up comedy in the South, in Nashville, Tennessee.
Is Nashville really the South?
Yeah.
I always
Cool
thought
South.
it as the Midwest, but whatever.
I think it's South enough. Southern hospitality.
South is an attitude.
South is an attitude. South will rise again. I don't know why they say that, because it's there. It's not underwater. It's there. Yeah, that's an ideology thing. Is what they're talking about. We hope that shit doesn't happen. That's why whenever they would say, "Let's make America great again. Let's take it back to where it used to be wonderful." Like, yo,
Wonderful for who?
you go back just maybe 30 years. But yeah, so the link, the special's there. We'll get the link fixed. Also, remember, hey, listen, hey, come here. Come here. Do you want a podcast? Do you want to do a podcast? Do you want to do a quality podcast? Meet me at the corner podcast place, Long Beach, California. The spot to do a quality podcast with my guy, super producer, Solo Man. Take me to podcast place. Take me to the streets. Take me to the podcast place. That's what it's all needs. We're still working on it.
Keep going. I'm still scrolling.
Take me to the podcast place. Take all this cool shit. Boop, doobie, boop, boopie, dee. When you don't have lyrics, make sure you scat. That's the way to complete it. Rap. Skip tap, babba, doobie, doobie,
Floopity floop.
Still working on the theme song. Solo, man. So what do you think so far?
Not an actual corner.
Not an actual corner.
I got to do the legalese.
Yeah. Not an actual corner. But it is on the corner. It's on the corner of something. What is it?
I'm in Wardlow.
Lime?
Yeah, and Wardlow.
Lime a Wardlow. So yeah, if you want a great podcast, this is the place to do it. Great atmosphere, great producer. Everything's on time. No glitches. And if there is, we don't know about it. But yeah, that's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
David.
Yes.
I watched there's a new movie on Netflix, and we I know we're in November now, but it was a scary movie. It said it was a horror movie. Time Cut.
When did you watch it?
The day before yesterday.
Or
yesterday.
Becca got me to watch that last night.
What'd you think?
It was cool. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was all right. The end was a little corny.
It was a little corny.
But
Like she just decided to leave now and be then.
Yep.
Basically, it's about a young lady who travels back in time to solve the murder of her sister. And she travels back in time on accident.
But she never knew her sister because she was
Never knew her sister because she wasn't even born yet. The reason they had her was because the older sister was unalived, and they thought, we need to start over. We need to try this.
Yeah. There she is. She's also in a cool show I like called Outer Banks.
This one here?
Mhm.
She's
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, Outer Banks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good show.
Yeah. Are you on season? I think I'm on season 3 still.
I haven't gotten to the new stuff yet.
What's Outer Banks?
It's a show about these outcast kids who one guy, the father died, and so the kid is sort of trying to follow in the father's footsteps looking for a treasure.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rich family on the island is fighting against him. And all that.
Yeah.
Is it good?
They have names.
Yeah.
Remember, they have like the little. Anyway, Outer Banks. I think it's in. Is it South Carolina? I think, or one of the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Oh, Carolina.
Someplace had a lot of little islands and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
But no, she's in that. That's a good show too. But yeah, it was okay. Time cut. It was okay.
Okay.
Zach.
It was, to me, it wasn't a horror flick.
No.
And it was, you know, it
because
said
of the
horror.
slasher aspect, because it was a slasher.
Which,
that
by
was
the way,
that was taking out high
that's why
school
the
kids.
spin at the end bothered me.
Mm.
Because who the slasher ended up being.
Mm.
When before we knew who it was, he was this big, scary looking big dude.
So we know it's a he.
And then all of a sudden, it's just this scrawny little little cuck. Little incel.
I'm going to start taking points away for people who do spoilers on this.
Spoiler alert.
What happens if you lose points?
Spoiler alert. The guy loses.
To be decided.
Okay.
Maybe
No more
pay in
spoilers.
Reese's or something.
Oh no, I love
Oh, you
those.
can't have Reese's. Dude, I'm looking at the monitors. We have not looked this much alike on this podcast in a very long time. This is the most identical we've looked on unidentical.
I think so. Yeah.
And I'm digging it. I posted a story today
Yeah.
of us going to this there's this brand new spot that opened up over there on Atlantic where you can get coffee. It's really cool. It's called Starbucks. Yeah, they opened a new Starbucks over there on Atlanta. So my brother and I went and checked it out. And guess what? It's just like all the other ones.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which some people might think that's a bad thing. I like it because it's my security
He
blanket.
loves it in there.
It's my
I don't understand it.
David doesn't understand it. Like, first of all, the podcast wasn't for another hour. And he's like, all right, let's go. I'm like, it's 2 minutes down the street.
Starbucks on Atlantic.
Yeah. It's brand new.
Exactly. It's brand new.
Open on the 1st.
Brand spanking.
Ooh,
In fact,
let me
last
think,
week
let
we
me
wanted
think,
to
let
go
me think.
to it and it wasn't there yet.
Atlantic and what?
Market.
Market.
Okay, I don't know where that is.
So if you go
So
down
that's
Atlantic.
south of here.
North.
No, north.
North. So you pass Rad Coffee.
No. Rad Coffee's closest to here. I live in Lakewood. So I come down this way. I don't live in.
Oh, so it's way north.
Mhm.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, it's so funny how far people think things are. You know,
Yeah.
when you, especially in the city. You drive all that way?
Right.
Like, a lot of places that I go to on the road, it's just like miles and miles of nothing between the houses and the grocery stores.
Which he'll gladly trek for a new Starbucks.
Mm.
Dude, when I'm on the road and I find a Starbucks, I'm a happy guy. It's my security.
Yeah, I mean, there's that consistency. You know it's going to be the same no matter where you're at. I mean, there's something to be said for that.
Yeah, David doesn't want to sit and hang out. I like to sit, have
And
my
it's not
coffee.
It's not
look
about
at the
the
news.
product or anything. I just don't, those places and
Those
like I went.
corporate. You don't like
Yeah,
corporate
they're
shit.
and the people in there are always so worried and seemingly. And
Well, today
there's a across the street from my house. There's an Einstein's Bagels, and I went in there yesterday, and there were about 4 people in the customer dining area, and about 7 young people behind the counter, and none of them could do anything.
Well,
They couldn't figure out anything, and part of it, I think they were all thrown off because they, when you walk in, they would point over at the coffee machine and go, the coffee machine's out of order and it's being worked on. They would tell people that. And it's a good thing because if they didn't, you would rightly assume that some weird homeless guy was just in there wrestling with the coffee machine. Like he was rocking it back and forth and trying to tip it over. And he was dressed all like, the only reason I knew he was probably repairing it is because he had tools next to him.
and a name tag. Did he have
Yeah. Nope. No.
Smitty?
And man, he was really wrestling
butt
with it, like,
crack,
making all these
suspenders.
crazy noises. And yeah. And I'm like, is that? And he looked like just a guy off the street came in and started trying to take the coffee machine. That's what it looked like.
What if that's what it was?
Well, no, I think that's what they were nervous about, his behavior and the way he was doing it. And so such an kind of manic way he was working on the machine.
But he was working on it.
Was he?
It looked like he was wrestling with it, but he was trying to get it over on its side. But I think that's what was making all the workers so nervous.
Wrestling with it.
Yeah, man, he was
Tap.
Yeah, he was really going to town on it. But and I think it was throwing off all the employees because they couldn't figure out anything.
Well, they really can't. You get a bunch of young people in there, and I know this sounds like such an old man thing to say, but they're gonna fuck it up. They're gonna fuck it right on up. For example, today at the new Starbucks, my brother and I, we always get the same thing. We get a coffee and a sandwich, and the sandwiches weren't coming. Coffees came out. It was wonderful. And my brother goes, "Do you think they forgot?" I go, "No, just sometimes." He goes, "Well, no, they're not doing anything back there. They're just standing around." That one kid was just washing the fuck out of that one window.
That one window
He was just like busy working in. Just washing one window. I'm like, dude, it's clean. So Dave goes over there and he goes, "Yep, they forgot." So they brought it to us and apologized for the wait.
Did they give you anything in compensation?
They gave us a smile.
A smile and a
See,
sorry.
That's BS to me.
Yep.
When you do stuff like that, I mean, you need to give people something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You also notice
Yeah.
that they have you punch in the text on the machine now before you run the card. That way they can get their, I'm sorry, text? Did I say text or I meant to say tip.
Tip?
They put the tip there before you pay. They give you the choice of tip. That way they can get the tip before they fuck it all up.
That's
But
what-
also, what's the tip for?
Yeah.
You're already getting paid to do a job.
That's why I use
You
the
didn't do
app.
anything outside of the job. You didn't do anything above and beyond.
Mm-mm.
Tip me. For what?
Yeah.
You push the button.
Do you tip?
Yeah,
You tip at the Starbucks?
I do.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Just $1. But
And you know what that is? And it's because you're Generation X. And what did Generation X invent? Participation trophy.
right.
You're rewarded for showing up. We need to get rid of that shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't tip. I use the app.
Well,
and-
you're black.
Oh.
Isn't that a
no.
cultural thing?
Hell no. When I go to
idiot.
restaurants, I feel like sometimes I have to make up for the whole stereotype of black people.
He's showing up with gifts.
Well, no, I tip 20% unless you really screw up. If you
Oh, you're a
screw up-
20%er?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I will never go
minimum
over
20.
20%.
Minimum 20.
Screw that. Yeah, anything over 20, that's like making up holidays.
And the only reason I tip that well is because my wife has shamed me into it.
Yeah.
Because she's a
Yeah.
generous tipper.
Mm-hmm.
Very generous tipper.
Mm.
But me, I'm like, you didn't bring it to me. You know, it'd be amazing if you start, oh, I noticed that the tip's included here and nothing's happened yet. Are you going to do something to deserve this tip?
That's what I got. That's what I should do that. You're going to be that guy, but
Be that guy.
I
'Cause
get that.
Listen, we need to bring an end to the participation trophy. Like there's a thing happening right now. I think I talked about this once on the pod where Gen Z are being fired at a higher rate than most people, and they're also demanding raises like 3 months into the job, kind of shit. And that's not really their fault. It's ours. That's a mentality that they were taught.
You get rewarded for showing up,
Showing up,
no matter what you do.
you got a trophy, bud. Good job.
And on top of that, why be smart when your phone is smart
Mm-hmm.
for you?
Yep.
You know.
Think about it.
I had a potential employee, just out of the blue, emailed me, "Hey, I'd love to, see if you have any opportunities in your studio." And I wrote back and said, "I'm not really looking for a full-time person, but I'd love to be able to teach somebody something and do some stuff on an as project basis, right?"
Right.
Person came in, seemed nice, and talked about, showed him some things and all of that. So we made an appointment for him to come in for the first, day. First thing out of their mouth, the first thing they came in when they said, "Well, I think I need more money."
For what?
Haven't done anything.
Right.
I think, I know we talked about it here and there, but I think I need more money because it was a long drive to get here. And that moment I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to
What the
show you some
hell?
things. And then after that, I just never called them back. So,
Dude, that's just
yeah,
it's happening in stand-up.
Hmm.
It's happening in stand-up comedy. People are like, they're posting posting themselves as headliners when they've been doing stand-up for 2 years. I've heard comics say things like, I don't want to do stand-up unless I'm getting paid now, which that makes sense if you're a veteran and people want to come see you.
right.
If people would pay to see you, that's a great mentality to have.
Yeah.
But no one knows that about a new guy yet. You gotta audition for this in a way. And I'm a firm believer in comics should get paid. If that's your gig, don't work for free, period.
Yeah.
But, there's a process and a time period in the beginning where you have to learn, you got to learn the craft. Like my buddy Sam, who I mention a lot, he was at an open mic, and on open mics are where new comics are honing their craft or whatever.
Cut their teeth, right?
Yeah. And this guy, he overheard this guy say, I've been doing this for 18 months now. When am I going to pop?
In 18 months?
Yeah.
That's the
And
thing with the
that's-
social media bullshit now, though.
And that's the mentality of the participation trophy. Hey guys, I'm here. I showed up. Where's my prize? It's that. It's that in a nutshell. Like a lot of these people want shortcuts. They don't want to pay their dues, and they get mad when we say you got to pay your dues. I mean, I had a comic tell me once, he goes, I know you guys, you old school guys think we got to pay our dues. And I'm like, it's not about us thinking you got to pay your dues. It's just something you need to do.
Yeah.
It makes you a better comic.
Yeah, that's how you get better.
And then you earn the trophies, right?
Yep.
You earn the accolades. You earn the flowers. But no, these people want to show up, getting that tip. Haven't even brought you your coffee yet, but I need my tip because I'm here. Not because I did something to deserve a tip, but because I'm just standing here. I showed up. And that's one of the things we got to get over that shit, man. It's frustrating as a comedian watching the new, and you understand a lot of I have to make an announcement. I was to headline Mic Drop Comedy in San Diego in their Gold Room on November 20th. I canceled the gig.
Oh,
Canceled it. I'm not doing it.
why?
Get into why.
I'm going to get into why.
Good.
Because I think it's important. This club, nothing against them, but it's not going to be a team effort. In other words, a lot of the clubs have gotten lazy now. They only want to book social media stars. They only want to book viral people so that they don't need to pay for advertising. They don't have to put any effort into it. They just have a room and it's up to the artist to sell out, which is great. That's one aspect of it. That's our goal. We want to build a fan base and we want to sell out these rooms.
Right.
But your business is a comedy club. You're in the business of stand-up comedy. Why not put a little effort into promoting the shows, all of the shows? So here's what made me cancel. I'm on this club's newsletter email list. I got the newsletter and I was excited to open the newsletter because I was going to say, let's see what they put for my show in the newsletter. I was not mentioned one time, not once. But on the exact same night that I'm supposed to be in the Gold Room, in the main room, they got some viral guy. And that's where they're putting that's who they're promoting. That's who they're talking about. If that's what you're going to do, don't have a second room. Fuck off. Sorry.
No, fuck off.
But so I saw that. I'm not in the newsletter. And I was like, that's interesting. Because you have to understand, a couple weeks prior, I got an email from them saying, you've only sold 2 tickets, just letting you know. And I was like, okay. That was like a month out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got time. Here was my mentality. We've got time. Because in my opinion, if you and I are working together, we're working together.
Right.
Let's team up on this and sell some fucking tickets. I'll do all I can on my end and you do all you can on your end.
Mhm.
And guess what? If those 2 things happen, we'll generate some ticket sales. So then I get this newsletter a couple weeks later and I'm not in it. I'm like, okay. And then I go, let me check their social media. I check their social media. No mention of it. They got like 75,000 followers on their Instagram page. No mention of my show. Not a single mention of my show.
Oh, wow.
And I'm sorry, guys, I'm worth mentioning. Because when I hit your stage, gonna crush. Gonna do it. I've been doing this long enough to be able to confidently say that.
Yeah.
And the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, there's proof. Yeah.
You know? And so I look at the social media and then I noticed that whenever I would post about the show, I would always tag them. But when I tagged them, I got this automated response that said, thank you for mentioning us. To check out our calendar and get free tickets, go to. Da, da, da. It's like an automated advertisement response. And I'm like, interesting. So then I get that email about the newsletter. I'm not in the newsletter. And then I look and I'm not on their social media. That same day, they emailed me again and said, hey, you still only have 2 tickets sold. Please continue to push more on your end. which is what I've been fucking doing.
Right.
Right.
I've seen all the posts.
So I was like, I emailed them back. Yo, got it. But I did notice that I'm not mentioned at all in your newsletter and your social media is not promoting it either. Can you maybe talk to your social media team and have them mention the show on your socials? No response.
No, of course not.
I gave them like 3 days, nothing. So then yesterday, I emailed them and said, unfortunately, I'm going to have to cancel that date. I'm sorry for any inconvenience. I didn't shit on them and tell them it was their fault or anything like that. I said, unfortunately, I'm going to have to cancel the 20th. I apologize for any inconvenience. Immediate response. Okay, no problem. Thanks for giving us a heads up. So it's not like they're not getting their fucking emails.
Yeah, it's weird.
My point is they're lazy. They don't want to fucking do anything extra. And the thing is, I understand paying for advertising. I'm not asking you to pay for advertising. I'm not asking you to pay for advertising.
No.
Social media posts are free. Why not say, hey, November 20th in our main room, we got this guy that does this thing. And also we have veteran comedian, not influencer, at a comedy club in the Gold Room
Doing stand-up.
doing stand-up comedy. Here are your options for that date. Here are the ticket links. Do that. I don't even care if you lump me in with the other guy.
You know what's funny is it sounded like they might have just been better off just calling it a space rental, right?
That's all it is.
Yeah, if all you
That's
if you got
all
to
it
do all
is.
your own work to bring in all your own people, then they're just providing a space.
I might as
That's
well go to a local place here and ask them, hey, can I rent your space out on this date?
Right.
And then just do all the work myself. Because that's exactly what it is. And a lot of these clubs, they need to stop calling themselves comedy clubs.
Yeah.
Just be a live event venue. We are a live event venue. We will have your favorite podcaster here. We will have your favorite TikTok star here. We will have your favorite comedians here. But don't call it what it isn't. And I know this sounds like me being bitter, and I am a little bitter. I'm a little pissed off because when I approached this comedy club with this idea of me coming in, I'm like, this is a team effort. Let's make this night happen. It's like when we still owned our martial arts school, but we didn't do any of the advertising, and we put it all on our students to do it. You guys have to do this while still paying me.
Right.
That's
You know what we should do?
shitty.
We should open a restaurant where people bring their own food.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. How do you get the word out about this place?
Google.
You just go, you do it. You put the work in.
Yeah.
You're not like, let me get somebody in here that's going to do it for me. Because first of all, that would never happen.
Right.
Because, yeah, dude, it's just, yeah. So sorry. Anybody in San Diego, those two people that bought tickets for my San Diego show on the 20th, it's not going to happen. And we're going to make it up to you somehow, some way. Because I'm like, yo, I can go do a show at DL Hughley that night and make some money and not have to worry about any of that bullshit and not have to drive down to San Diego.
Yeah. That is a nice drive, though.
Yeah. You always find the silver lining, don't you? You always find the silver lining.
Is that a good thing or a bad
It's a
thing?
good thing. Speaking of DL, I've been working a lot with Mr. DL Hughley. I want to promote his show on this podcast every Wednesday night in Pasadena at the Ice House in the main room. DL Hughley and Friends every Wednesday night. It's called At the DL, and it's a great show. The lineups are always fire. The crowds are always great. But we want to get the word out on that show. So if any Wednesday night, you don't even pick one. It's every Wednesday. It's called DL Hughley on the DL, at the DL, and it's at the Ice House in Pasadena in the main room. It's a great show, and I'm on it probably every few weeks or so.
Yeah,
Every few weeks or so. Oh yeah, did it have me on there?
It looked like I thought I said.
There it is.
That black man, that's not you.
Jay, that's my buddy, Jay Phillips. He's great. Jay Phillips was actually the guy who introduced me to DL.
There it is. Now, isn't now the Ice House is now more an entertainment venue again, like it used to be back in the day, right?
Well, yeah, because they were having a hard time getting comics and getting the comedy shows going. Because what happened, they're under complete new ownership and management. It's not the Bob Fisher Ice House that you knew that I would go to.
Right,
It was
right.
just be an incredible show. So, and they were the last holdout after the pandemic to reopen. They remodeled. They took forever reopening, and people quickly forget. And then they got rid of a lot of the staff there that knew the comedy game.
Mm.
So then it was just a bunch of people that didn't really know much about comedy shows running the place, which is fine. They had to relearn a lot of things, but now they are. And the thing that's happening today that's a little different with comedy clubs, and most of the comedy clubs are doing it now, except for the Comedy Store. I believe the Comedy Store in Los Angeles is the last surviving actual comedy club. That's just legitimately, it's in-house.
In LA,
They got their in-house comics. You got to earn it to become a regular there. All the shows are stand-up comedy shows.
Isn't that how?
And they use off nights and off hours for their outside promoters. But what's going on is, what I mean by outside promoters is the people that don't work at the club or for the club.
Mm-hmm.
They're a promoter who promotes shows. So now a lot of these clubs are hiring these guys to come in and do their Saturday nights and
Right.
do their Wednesday nights and do their. But what makes it difficult is the whole process of calling in your availability as an LA comic is going away because, there's no availability because
Yeah,
there's
you
very
got to be aligned with one of the promoters. now
Yes,
instead
you got to
of
be
the
aligned with
club.
one of the promoters to get booked at the club,
Yeah,
which has now made for these Gen Zs and this participation trophy generation, they don't understand the importance and how incredible honor it is to be performing stand-up comedy in these A rooms. So now they just think because they're on this outside promoters club, they're like, yo, I'm a comic at the world famous. And no, you're not. You're a comic for this guy that runs his show that night. I know I sound bitter, but I am a little bit.
well, let me ask you an honest question. Do you feel like if somebody's a comic on, say, Instagram or whatever, and they have 75,000, 100,000 followers, do you feel like that translates to an actual
It doesn't.
brick and mortar audience when they go and perform
No,
someplace?
and that's the mistake that people make. But there are comics in that realm that do transfer over very well because they're just really talented, funny
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But then you get these guys that they are like TikTok. Remember Vine? They're like these Vine actors that are like over the top, slapsticky. Oh, that's funny, like
Yeah.
bullshit,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That
trying to tell it's like a laugh
Yeah.
cue.
that doesn't translate onto the stage. That's a completely different art.
Right.
So a lot of these guys who have millions of followers, they're getting booked to do stand up, and it's going wah, wah, you know what I mean? Because they're like, oh, this is because they're fucking.
It's not the same.
They're not ready.
Yeah.
They can be. And there's a lot of super talented guys that got ready and now they're great. I have respect for Trevor Wallace. Trevor Wallace was a YouTube guy, but you know what? He got into stand up too, and he's great.
Yeah.
King Bach,
Mhm.
King Batch.
Yep.
King Batch is respecting the art of stand up, and he's working it out and getting better and getting better. He's one of the guys that I could tell realizes, oh, these are two different art forms.
Yeah.
But then there's these guys that just don't, like when the Vine thing was big, a lot of the comedy clubs were booking these acts at 4:00 in the afternoon and they were selling out. And the entire show was them standing on stage doing a meet and greet. That's all it was. They lined up, took their
Whoa.
picture with them and left.
Mm.
But there are very talented people doing it that way. And there are exceptions, yes. However, it doesn't, the slapsticky type of comedy that they did on Vine,
like
and
when they
it doesn't.
put the laugh over it, like the fake, the
laugh track.
recorded laugh over it, like like letting you know when to laugh.
Oh yeah. But there are guys that are making the transition very smoothly, and they're great, But the Comedy Store, however, is still. There are things that they are doing different these days. Like when a comedian does blow up and get really famous, they'll just throw their name on the wall, which that's fine. But there's still a process to become a paid regular there and get your name on the wall. And you have to go. You got to go there. You got to do the open mic. You got to do the potluck on Monday nights. You got to do the fucking bucket show on Sunday nights. You got to do it. And you got to do it for a long time. And then there's the door guy process, becoming a door guy, getting that stage time, cold opening all the shows. They're literally developing new talent there. They're still doing it there. I've heard rumors that that other clubs claim they do it, but they don't. Like their door guys don't get stage time. The Laugh Factory doesn't have anything that's like that. The employees at the Laugh Factory aren't comedians.
Huh.
Laugh Factory still has their Tuesday night open mic. Improv still has their Tuesday night open mic, and you got to go and you got to fucking make your bones and all that shit. But Comedy Store for me, and I know I'm biased because they take really good care of me there, but there's a reason they take really good care of me there, because when I get on the stage, I take really good care of them. I don't fuck around. I don't
Shit on the room.
shit on the room. I don't to tell dick jokes for a fucking hour.
What do you mean by
I'm-
shit on the room?
Like making fun of it. Like, you know, like, oh, the fucking comedy store. You know, it's,
People do that?
Or
People-
even if you're struggling, they'll blame the shit on the
yeah,
audience.
if you're having a bad set, they'll blame the audience. And it's just like, I don't do that. So they take care of me because I take care of them. I'm pretty sure. I hope that's the reason why.
Mm.
You know, I don't have a relationship. I don't have a personal or social relationship with anybody that works there. You know, that used to be a kind of a thing. Like if you partied with the manager, you're in. And that was kind of a thing with a lot of these places. But I don't have that relationship with them. The relationship that I have with them is I call my availability in every Sunday, and every week I get at least 2 spots at that club, which is huge because
So
there's a lot of names on that wall that don't get booked there.
Do you feel like it's because the management hasn't changed much? I mean,
No, management has changed a lot.
because
since I've been doing
it sounds like it's like now 2 different schools of thought, right? You got these guys who are just in it for the money. They'd rather let the promoters do all the work, like you said, go back to that space rental model. And now you got the guys who are still sort of adhering to the classic comedy.
But here's why
model.
it works for the Comedy Store, the classic, because the Comedy Store is a brand.
Right.
The Comedy Store is the world famous comedy store. There's so many documentaries about it. Name a huge comic. They got their start at the Comedy Store. Richard Pryor, Jim Carrey, Arsenio Hall, Louis Anderson. Oh my God, the list goes on and on.
Robin Williams.
You know, Roseanne Barr, you know, Robin Williams, all these people.
Michael Keaton.
They all lived in that room. Tim Allen. These guys were all guys that auditioned. David Letterman, Jay Leno. This is why the Comedy Store is what it is.
Mm.
You know, because it's historical, obviously,
Yeah.
but it's also and it's known to be one of the hardest clubs to become a paid regular at.
Yeah.
And the only way that's going to happen is if you put in the fucking work. You don't get a participation trophy at the Comedy Store.
Mm-mm.
And you
just
got to put the work in there, right?
You got to put it in
It's
there.
not like you can just go somewhere else.
They need to see you.
Yeah.
There's one person who watches the comedians and goes, okay, they're ready. It's just how it's always been there. Sometimes the people in that position, I'm not a big fan of their opinions, but that's how it works there.
Yeah.
It's just like the Cellar in New York. The Cellar in New York, there's one person that you got to get through. Esty. She's the owner, and she's very strict. You know, because another way that it works is referrals. I can go now and to the person who's in charge of this at the Comedy Store and say, here, this is a friend of mine. They've been working their ass off. Please take a look at this person.
Yeah.
That's a referral. They're very strict about it at the Cellar in New York. If you've only been a paid regular there for like a certain amount of time, she won't take referrals from you. Like she only takes referrals from like the fucking veterans.
Right.
You know, like Godfrey and those guys. You know what
But
I mean?
I honestly feel like those are the only guys who are going to be given referrals.
Yeah.
I feel like anybody at a certain level of doing comedy aren't going to do that because it's competition.
Yeah. But also, a bad referral reflects badly on me.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've been honest and had the uncomfortable conversation. It was like, yeah, I'm not ready yet to tell this person about you because I don't think that you're ready. And I'm not a competitive comedian. I'm not a comic that goes, I can't have him on the same show as me, or I'm not.
Yeah.
I've never been that.
You see a lot of that. It's nuts, man.
But
I've had this unique position, this fly on the wall position in comedy for like 19 years now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And boy, I see so much of this kind of stuff, man.
and because of Dave's experience in this, you know, there are comedians that I will not take joke tags or notes from. I just won't do it. And I will not take it from somebody who's not a comedian except David.
So David,
Mm.
could you run a comedy club? Could you be
well,
that
now,
guy
the
who
thing
says
is,
they're
when you-
ready, they're not ready?
That's the comedy show aspect of it. The
Yeah.
club part, I don't know. There's so much that goes into it with the restaurant and blah 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 and all the other things because it's a restaurant bar as well. But as far as like, I think I would be a great producer of a comedy show.
Was
case.
that like a talent manager or something like that? Yeah.
You're the talent manager. You're the talent manager.
Honestly, yeah, I think I would.
And I have people that in my life that I've known that took that job, and I've never seen someone's hair go gray so quickly.
Mhm.
It's not an easy job.
Now again,
See, that's another thing. I'm not shitting on bookers because
Right.
I know I wouldn't do that job.
that's
Because as
gotta
soon
be
as you
hard.
become a booker and you're an honest booker, you're going to make some enemies. People are going to be mad at you. Well, I thought we were friends. Why aren't I getting put up? And I'm going to tell you right now, the bookers that don't put their friends up, I have way more respect for them than the ones that do.
Oh, I imagine, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Back to the Comedy Store too. Another thing about being the fly on the wall thing that all these years, being able to be in the Comedy Store as a non-comedian the way I'm able to be.
Yeah.
It's got a kind of that place has like a magic to it. There's something about it that's just, you feel like you're in a, it's like almost like the Queen Mary. It's got this history to it. You know, when you're inside there, you're like, oh man, all the people that came through here and made their careers here. And
I just saw a great photograph on Instagram yesterday, and it was taken this week. Paul Rodriguez, you know Paul Rodriguez,
Yeah.
So Paul Rodriguez is one of the original Comedy Store comics. Like his name is one of the lit boxes in the original room,
Right.
and his picture. You know, there's the hallway that has all these comedians' pictures in it, and my picture's in there, which is great. It's a point of pride. But then there's a second part of the hallway where it's these huge pictures of comics,
the big guy,
the big pictures, and it's Jim Carrey, it's Richard Pryor, it's Arsenio, it's Roseanne Barr, it's Paul Rodriguez, and he took the coolest picture yesterday, man. It was him and his son, and I don't know if you know anything about Paul Rodriguez's son, Solomon.
Yeah.
P-Rod. He is huge.
skateboard.
He's a professional skateboarder. He's got a Nike deal.
Yeah, I heard
Huge.
about him. Yeah.
Right? So, but I love the caption. Did you see what the caption said?
No, let me see.
It said,
Me and my son?
yep, me and my son at the Comedy Store. What else can I ask for?
Yeah.
Ah, that's fucking awesome. And it's him as a kid. Look at that picture of him. As a kid.
Yeah.
Say what you
He's,
want about the
he's
guy.
every-
He's OG, man.
Well, he's down here in Long Beach Laugh Factory every week.
Yeah, if he can make it. He has his own show called Spanglish.
Yeah.
And he tries to get to them all. But yeah. But yeah, man, it's and the thing is that David said earlier about it being these restaurant bars.
Yeah.
See, that's the vibe. So the Hollywood Improv is still another old school comedy club to me. They got their regulars. They do have a lot of outside promoter shows now. However, when you go there, you feel like you're at a fucking comedy club, and it's got the front bar that you could hang out at and sit at, because all
Cheers kind of feel.
all the other improvs are just theaters with a wait staff.
Yeah.
And they have an incredible menu. Their food is decent. It's great. Their main selling product is their food. Their restaurants that happen to have a comedy show happening. The product that the Comedy Store sells is comedians.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that's why the Comedy Store is the best name,
Right.
because they sell comedy. They're not like, here's a menu. You know, it used to just be drinks and popcorn. That's all.
Yeah.
You can get a bag of popcorn, drink. That's it.
Laugh.
Now you can do pizza. They opened a pizza spot in there called Ciro's, which is named after the original theater that was that building, Ciro's, and on Sunset, where like Sinatra and Sammy Davis and all those guys performed.
Got it.
They named the pizza after that. So they do have pizza, and they do, but no one's going to the Comedy Store for pizza.
All right.
Do you know what I mean? Like their product, the thing that they're selling us is great comedy, because people go there because they know they can see Bill Burr. They know they can see, Mark Maron. They know they can see, Chris Rock and Martin Lawrence and all those guys. They
And
still
even-
go there.
In
Chappelle
addition to
still
those guys too, there's even the other ones that maybe they're not like huge world famous comedians like him, but you're like, wait, I know that guy
Right.
from this, or I know
Right.
her from this,
Yep. And you're going to see a bunch of comics you've never heard of that are going to blow your fucking mind.
Yep.
A lot of us have gained fans because of the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the people that go there are from out of town. It's a tourist destination as well.
Does your association with the Comedy Store help you get other gigs?
It did, but I don't know how that works these days. I'm at a point where I don't know how it works these days, because I'm doing everything I can do with my social media that I'm seeing everyone else do.
Right.
I'm posting a comedy clip every other day. I'm active on there. There's never a dull moment on my social media.
Yeah.
I'm active. I talk to my fans. I talk to my followers, but I can't break 20,000 followers.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And everything that I've been told that I've done wrong, I've corrected.
What if
So-
people told you you're doing wrong?
Oh, making your grid look sloppy and not consistent.
Oh, yeah.
Putting a flyer then a picture, then a video. Like, it never gave the algorithms a chance to latch onto something, you know? So because there's no consistency in my, fix that. Then it was, your reel's got to be a higher quality. Learn to edit. All my shit's 4K and better. I'm very fortunate because the Comedy Store now has a 2-camera setup in the main room.
Right.
And
Really nice.
yeah. And I can get so much clips because I'm going to be in the main room this weekend. This video will come out after that, but it's my 3rd week in a row. Cause you know, you get spots where you can get them.
Right.
And in 1 week you might be in the original room. And then the next week you'll have a spot in the main room. And then this week, I'm very fortunate that on Saturday night, I'm going to be in both rooms. I'm going to be in the original room at late night, and then I'll be early in the main room. But I'm very fortunate they're set up to tape, and I don't have to worry about quality. All I have to do is take that file, put it in my Premiere Pro, and edit it.
Yeah.
Edit it down to clips, and that's what I'm doing. So the process now, I don't know. I mean, I know that in the comedy community, when you tell comedians, yo, he's a paid regular at the store for over a decade, which is where I'm at now, people go, oh shit.
Oh,
That immediately legitimizes, oh, this dude's a real fucking.
What you'll
Right.
gain, I guess, is respect.
Mhm.
You know.
And it used to be kind of the opposite. Like when I got passed, they call it getting passed.
mhm.
When I got passed at the Comedy Store as a paid regular, that's because I got the Tonight Show and I got, you know what I mean? It was like,
Mm-hmm.
it was just, but I put the work in. I was going to the Comedy Store years and sitting in the back of the room trying to get on stage at those at the open mic, just
Remember them days.
being rejected,
Yeah.
almost losing my fucking family because why are you there if you're not on the show? Question. And I'm like, you don't understand. I got to be there,
Mm.
you know? And the thing is, one of the other reasons I respect him so much is that when I was going through that beginner process with the Comedy Store, I was already headlining improvs. I was already getting my own headlining dates and doing the road and shit, but I wanted to be a part of that club because it's respect.
Yeah.
It puts respect on your name. If in New York, if you're known to be a paid regular at the Comedy Cellar, you're a fucking comic. You're the real deal. Like every comedian's goal in LA, even if they deny it, they're fucking lying, is to become a paid regular at the Comedy Store. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Because I have a lot of friends that are very honest about it. They're like, man, that's my fucking goal. If I can get my name on that wall, you know, so it does still mean something.
That's good.
But where it doesn't mean anything is if you can't sell tickets on the road. If you're not viral now, because there was a time when I could, because it was a team effort, because the internet wasn't a thing.
Right.
I would book the so-and-so laugh thing in so-and-so Idaho or whatever the fuck. And they'll be like, all right. And then you fly in early. You get up at 6 a.m. the next morning, and a representative from the comedy club picks you up from the hotel, takes you to the local TV station, and you do press.
And
Wow.
It's all morning. Every morning we would do the local TV news. Then we would drive to the radio station to do the most popular morning show. And the club's handling. That's a relationship the club had
Right.
with all those media outlets. And now that's not a thing, I'm now responsible for all of it as far as getting those butts in the seats with my social media becoming viral. Every club, I mean, the same club that I canceled on, when I asked them about their main room, their response to me was this: we reserve that room for someone who has at least 125,000 followers.
Yeah.
That's what their answer was to me.
Wow. They
Not-
judge it based on followers.
Not on your comedy. It's nothing.
Oh my God.
Yep. Comedy's the last box checked now,
Well, and
which at the Comedy Store, it isn't.
yeah.
Comedy Store, you better be a good fucking comic. If you
It's
want.
true.
You're touching this stage. First of all, you have respect and know this is a fucking honor, but also know you're not gonna be a part of this unless you're fucking putting the work in
Oh my God.
and becoming undeniable. Well, but most clubs aren't that way. I had a representative from Levity, who's the company that owns a bunch of the improvs, tell me, this is what they said to me, dude. All we care about is a butt every 18 inches. That's it.
Mm.
Because we need to sell our chicken fingers. We need to sell our mozzarella sticks and our improv burgers and our fries and that's where their bread and butter is.
Oh yeah.
That's why now a lot of these improvs, they don't give a fuck about a door deal. They're like, yo, you could have 100% of the door, 90%, take it. We'll take this percent because we know you're going to sell every show out and there's a 2-item minimum. They're making fucking bang.
Yeah, they got a 70-point markup on French fries.
You know? I don't know how I got on this tangent today.
That's another cool thing about the whole thing about being in, not a comedian, but being in that. Dude, I get to enjoy so much green room food.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best.
Dude, there's some places I miss. J. Anthony Brown, really funny comic. You remember J. Anthony Brown?
I don't think so.
Old school black comic. He was the best. He had a comedy club in Inglewood, I think. It was called the J Spot.
Okay.
Oh, I remember hearing about that.
Bro, my wife and I, whenever I would book a spot at the J Spot, I would bring Elaine because the food was phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
They had this, they did like quote unquote soul food. And the stuff was so good. I remember they had fried mac and cheese.
Oh.
Oh boy, it was beautiful. It was just like a fried block, and then you dug into it, and it was like, like light came out. That was that was one of the ones that didn't survive the Pandy Dandy.
Oh,
Yep, there it is, J Spot.
Yep.
Great room. I miss that room. I miss that room, and I miss another room that was just solely just a comedy club, a room for comedy. Comedy Union on Pico.
That's right. That place was cool.
Comedy Union on Pico. My buddy Enz Mitchell owned it. Shout out Enz. I love you, buddy. I miss that club. That room was so good. And it was considered an urban room or a black room. But like a few times I would show up to do a spot, and the only two white dudes on the show were me and Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Because Bill knew it was a fucking dope ass room. Because there's rooms that are unforgiving. You know, like be funny or don't even come here. And I don't mean like, I'm all ready for them to suck. I'm ready for you to suck. I don't mean that. I mean, they're happy to be there, but if you suck, they're going to let you know.
Yeah, there's comedy.
Yeah, that's the Union.
I remember
Baby.
that, yeah.
I miss that room. Beautiful room.
How does a place like this close?
Pandemic, man.
Oh, it was a pandemic.
Yep. I remember going there before I was a comic to see comedy with my buddy Joe Coy. And I walked in and Damon Wayans was on stage, and I looked at that room and I went, I want to perform here so bad one day. So wow. I have a couple of, there's Enz on the right. Yeah, he's great.
And there he is.
But yeah, I had nothing but a good time at that club, and they were great, and they were good to me.
Yeah,
they were really good to me. And they were one of the few clubs that paid you right there in cash, which was great. That's what I love about the improv. They'll still cash you out at the end of the night. You know what I mean? Whereas like the comedy store, it's my job. Like I'm
they
on.
stuff it in your
You get a
waistline.
paycheck.
There you go.
You do.
$10.99.
I get direct deposit every 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And the Laugh Factory is you do the job, and then in a couple of weeks you go pick up your check. I wish they would get onto the direct deposit thing, because they're still, you have to go to the Hollywood location to pick your checks up. No matter where even if your gigs were in Long Beach. That's my rant today. I'm sorry I didn't let anybody else talk, but can I say this again? I love the Comedy Store so much. I just really do.
Yeah.
And I will be there this weekend. Too bad the show comes out Monday, but yeah.
Okay, so today we're recording on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
This will come out on Monday.
Right.
So just for when it comes out, we'll just do this real quick. Dude, what about all that crazy shit that happened?
Dude, that was
Wasn't
insane,
that nuts when the
man.
thing did the
When they lowered the thing and then the other thing rose up?
It was nuts.
It was nuts, dude.
All
So
those people did that stuff.
really quickly, November 15th and 16th, Las Vegas. I'll be in your town. November 15th and 16th, Las Vegas. 15th, I will be at New Woo at 8 o'clock, and I will be at the Dirty at 12:30. At 12:30, South Point Casino. That's Friday night. And then Saturday night, I will be at the Foundation Room in Mandalay Bay. Come out and see me if you're in Las Vegas. Other than that, thank you guys so much for listening to Flannel Bros.
Flannel Brothers.
Flannel Bros.
In from the woods.
Fla Bros, bro. Make sure you continue to rate and review it wherever you download. Leave us a 5-star rating and a review. It helps us out with the algorithms. Make sure you check us out on YouTube. Like, subscribe, mash the notification bell. Also, don't forget, one-stop shop, everything Unidentical. Go to unidenticalpod.com. And if you have any stories or comments or anything you want to talk to us about, send us an email at unidenticalpod@gmail.com. And again, where's your place for the podcast? Where's your place? The podcast place is Podcast place is the place for your face. Podcast place is the place for your race. Podcast place is the place for your taste. Let's create, baby.
Create, baby.
Still working on the theme song. Not an actual corner. All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.
Unidentical.